In a fast-growing industry of electronic vehicles, sometimes what matters the most is who is on top and which country is the most competitive or progressive. Moreover, while many nations are still stuck on traditional cars, a few countries have already joined the race for EVs. And in this video, we'll talk about the EV race USA versus China. But before we get into the topic, do me a favor and smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to hit that bell button to be notified whenever a new video is published. We'll start off with the EV race between the USA and China in terms of consumer base. As the global electric vehicle industry heats up, China has already shown that it wants to dominate the market. Last year, the Chinese purchased over 1 million electric vehicles, making it to the top 2 among other countries as stated in global electric and plug-in hybrid vehicle sales in 2020, following Europe at top 1. However, it's far higher than the 328,000 EVs purchased in the United States that still made it to the top 3 on global EV sales. That only goes to show that China is interested in these electric cars, and the good thing is that they have many customers. Studies have shown that 86% of the Chinese population realistically see themselves buying EVs. Unlike the US, however, where only 44% of Americans imagine themselves purchasing electric vehicles, implying that the country has a smaller consumer base than China. The EV race between the USA and China in terms of government EV policies or support. China proved that government policy could drive innovation in an industry. Perhaps it is one of the secrets why the country is dominating the EV industry. Moreover, there are reasons why China is one step ahead of the US regarding the EV race. First, the country does not want to depend on Europe and the US when it comes to engine technology, since they've been a follower of traditional vehicles. Thus, adopting electric cars can help them catch up. Second, China is the world's biggest emitter of greenhouse gases. The country is also known for its air pollution problems that have caused numerous deaths. Thus, to resolve this issue, the Chinese government has been active in environmentally friendly vehicles to achieve their goal by the year 2060, which is for the country to be carbon neutral. Third, and one of the biggest reasons, is that the Chinese government spent tens of billions of dollars to support the sales of EVs. That is why the government played a vital role in the industry. Moreover, subsidies and incentives are also offered in China, which has benefited by automakers, suppliers, and consumers. In addition, some of the cities in China have the policy that only electric vehicle drivers can access the city's main roads. In Shanghai, for example, if you're going to buy a gasoline-powered car, you must first pay for a plate. Perhaps these policies are for their ambitious plan to transition to all electric or hybrid cars and phase out all conventional gas-burning cars by 2035. So far, that goal remains possible as long as the country remains consistent in implementing these policies. However, there is still a chance for the US to catch up, since there are signs that the country is getting serious about going electric. President Joe Biden announced that the administration's goal is to reach net zero emissions by 2050, as well as investments in green infrastructure. At least 45 states and the District of Columbia offer incentives including tax credits, rebates, and registration fee reductions to promote EV adoption and deployment as of November 2020. If the country does remain focused on its goals, it will make the electronic vehicle race more interesting. The EV race between the USA and China in terms of EV battery production. Since the battery industry's success is closely related to the success of the EV industry, the Chinese government also supports battery manufacturing and its supply chain. No wonder battery production worldwide is concentrated in Northeast Asia, particularly Japan, Korea, and obviously China. The country must be really enjoying seeing products used across the globe with the sign "Made in China," since analysts say that the country has control of the chemicals and the production facilities needed for EV battery production for the next 5 to 10 years. Some groups in the US also believe that Chinese firms dominate the industry because of their batteries, which are the key to electric cars. At present, most batteries in the US come from China. The public and private sectors are working together. President Biden announced that $5 billion would be spent on battery tech for the next 5 years. With the help of industry giants such as SK Innovation, LG Chem, and Tesla, the production of batteries in the US is expected to increase by 2030. However, we can't deny that China is still one step ahead in every way from the US. The EV race in terms of charging stations. According to the Department of Energy, there are about 41,400 EV charging stations in the US, and fewer than 5,000 are fast chargers. US President Joe Biden showed his support to electric vehicle charging outlets and announced that there would be a $2 trillion infrastructure bill that will be allocated for it. Moreover, he also promised to have 500,000 charging stations in the whole country by the year 2030. However, it's not easy to achieve this goal because it will need support from the government and private sectors, especially consumers. On the other hand, according to reports, the industry will not be that progressive yet since there are not enough US EV drivers, because Americans are drawn to SUVs and gas-powered trucks. In fact, Ford's F-Series remained America's best-selling vehicle in 2020, which only proves that Americans are still into it. On the other hand, China is still ahead of the US when it comes to charging stations, since it was also made their national priority and they've been installing outlets all over the country. According to statistics, up to 284,000 public EV charging stations were installed in 2020, plus the 112,000 installed in December alone. Overall, it's estimated that China had over 500,000 EV charging outlets available to the public. This is 4 times higher than the 100,000 stations available in the US. So can the USA still catch up? Now, we see how competitive China is in the EV industry, and it seems like they don't want to put their guard down. However, the question still stands: can the USA still catch up? Is it possible for the United States to beat China? Since China is being consistent in achieving its goals, the competition in the EV industry has been tighter than ever. However, experts say that the quality of their batteries, and particularly the quality of their own cars or Chinese vehicles, are still not quite world-class. They just haven't reached the standard of world-class brands yet. Furthermore, analysts say that they couldn't compete with leading European brands or Tesla, the frontrunner in the industry. On the flip side, Europe and the United States are expected to raise the quality of those cars to be competitive. As we all know, the US has always been the standard for the world in many technologies. However, if they want to beat China, the country should not wait any longer, because the longer they wait, the harder it will be to win the race. So in short, the US should start right now. In a nutshell, it's evident that China is getting far ahead of the US regarding this matter. However, the country is not doing its best to be on top just to dominate the market, but they're also working hard to produce high-quality e-vehicles. Why did I say this? Like what I've mentioned, China is known for its air pollution problem. One of the ways to solve this is to adopt the EV industry. However, this reason is considered their weak point, because as the government policies restricted the driving of gas-powered vehicles, they produce cheap electric cars affordable to the public. Since they're cheaper, the quality is not that good. And in that regard, we can see the US EV market start to rise. Just like in China, pollution is one of the biggest problems of countries across the globe. And the rise of electric vehicles gives us the opportunity to save Mother Earth and ourselves. It's reasonable why countries are so competitive in this manner, since adopting EVs has many advantages, whether in the economy, environment, or day-to-day lives. Isn't the EV race interesting? It sure is. Knowing that this industry is unpredictable, we can speculate, but we'll never know who will rise and who will fall. And that's it for today's video, everyone. Do you have any thoughts about the topic? What do you say about China beating the US in the EV industry? Do you think the US can make it to the top? Share your answers in the comment section down below. And before leaving, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to be notified whenever new content is released. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.